Hey, what's going on, family? JF here at the house. Had a few thoughts on my mind that I woke up with today. This channel isn't just a chosen one, like spiritual and talking about everyday life. As I mentioned in my first video, I'm a huge basketball fan. Been watching it since pretty much since I was born. So I'll talk about other things as well, not only just day-to-day life, work things, family stuff, but also talk about, it's pretty much an everything channel. So I'm also talk about sports, music, entertainment, current events, just things on my mind, really. It's just a way they call it, miscellaneous. But pretty much I woke up this morning because just following the NBA for as much as I have. Obviously, if you're a big NBA fan, the Thunder right now is looking like they can't lose. And you got Lakers playing really well. I think LeBron's not playing tonight, but he's trying to fit back in. Luka averaging 35, 9 and 9. Jokic having another historic triple-double season. He only took 7 shots last night against the Suns and made every shot, 7 for 7 from the field. So the thing with him is he's not even dunking, and he's got high field goal percentage. So it got me to thinking, especially with going back to the Thunder, SGA as well. Got to mention him. He's arguably having the greatest guard season in NBA history. You could compare it to Steph, his unanimous MVP season. Also, Kobe Bryant, 05-06, averaging 35, scoring the 81. Jordan, you put any of his seasons up there. Obviously, 87-88, averaging 37, winning Defensive Player of the Year. So you could put SGA's season right now up there. He barely plays in the fourth quarter. He's averaging almost 32, 33 a game, shooting 50, 40, 90. Their team is 19-1. Pretty much been without his second best player. So he looks like he's trying to go back to back for MVP. Can't forget Giannis as well. 6th youngest guy last night to eclipse 21,000 points. So a lot of historic things going on in the NBA, and we still got other talented players as well. But it got me to thinking. I started because I was comparing Shea to Steph that season, and it's very similar. And that was 10 years ago, 2015, 2016. If you remember, Golden State had just won the championship the year before, but they beat the Cavs with LeBron when Kyrie and Kevin Love were out. Their whole playoff run was pretty much, everyone was like, a key player was injured in their playoff run. I think they played Memphis. I have to look it up, but they played a few teams, and a lot of key players, or like a key player each time they played, was out. So some of us, including myself at the time, was discrediting their championship a little bit, especially the finals when Kyrie got hurt, because I thought Cleveland would have won. If you don't know, I'm a LeBron. I root for LeBron. I'm a big LeBron fan. I don't get into the LeBron NJ debates. Everyone has their own favorite player. I like both. I'm from North Carolina, so I respect Mike. Kobe, I didn't at the time when I was younger. I kind of wasn't a big fan of him, but over time I grew to, I kind of understood where he came from. So, and that was before he died. So I wasn't one of those who switched up on him, near the end of his retirement and post-retirement. Him explaining his career and why he moved the way he moved. And as I got older and I wasn't an immature kid, I grew to appreciate Kobe and his career, and of course LeBron and what he's continuing to do. So, I let everyone kind of choose their own GOAT. Everyone has their own favorite player. My favorite player is Tracy McGrady before LeBron. So, Everyone has their own players, and you know, at the end of the day, if you're a basketball fan, you should appreciate the game no matter what. You know, as long as you're seeing greatness, you should appreciate that. But anyway, back to the point. I was comparing SGA to Steph, and it's very similar in their season and how they're playing. 14-15 Golden State come onto the scene pretty much. They were already kind of building up, but they finally delivered a championship, won that. And the next year, because because they were discredited because of Kyrie and Kevin Love being out, they came back with a vengeance that 15-16 season, and they won 73 games. Steph, I think, he didn't play in 24th quarters, unanimous MVP. And that was a historic season. And a lot of other things happened as well. And that's very similar to the Thunder. 24-25 last year, 10 years from Golden State's championship, first one with Curry. Young team that people kind of discredited their championship. Aaron Gordon got hurt when they played Denver in the second round. Ja Morant got hurt in the first round. They beat Minnesota, and then Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles. So the narrative with their championship is, you know, SGA foul baits, and they only won because of injury. If Halliburton would have been healthy, it looked like Indiana would win, and you could say that. You could very much say that. So they're now coming back this season like Golden State did with a vengeance, and they're on a tear right now. They're on pace to break the 73-9 record for Golden State. SGA is not playing fourth quarters. He won't be a unanimous MVP because there is a Jokic, but he could go win back-to-back MVPs like Steph Curry. So the reason I'm doing this video is because, as I mentioned, that was 10 years ago when Golden State had their beginning of their run, and we're seeing it in OKC. And I wanted to kind of go back just to see. Sometimes I just kind of delve into patterns and trends. And I didn't go back too far, but I went back to 85, 86. So it's like each halfway part through the decade, historic moments and seasons happen for teams that are like etched in NBA history. And I'll kind of go through it and kind of show you like how that's done. So first, hold on, give me one sec. First, 85, 86. The Celtics were the dominant team that year. They went 40-1 at home. So this is 40 years ago from this season. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, they went 40-1 at home. That's the best record. Playing 41 games. That's the best home record in NBA history. And they went on to win the championship that year. So a historic moment in that. They broke history there. Also that season, we do have the Michael Jordan 63-point playoff game against those same Celtics in the first round. That's the game where Larry Bird describes, he says that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. And that game will forever be etched in NBA history. So it's kind of a neat trend. If you go 10 years later, we get to 1995, 1996. If you're an NBA fan, what happened that year? The Bulls went 72-10. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, they picked up Dennis Rodman. They have the best regular season record to date at that time in NBA history. Jordan did get unanimous MVP, but It very much could have been. They win the championship, have the greatest greatest NBA season ever in most people's eyes. Probably have two of the top 5 players as well. And that was a season that was etched in history. That's Jordan's, like, one of his crowning achievements, is 95, 96. All right, so that's, you know, kind of similar. Let's go to 2005, 2006, 10 years later. What happens that year? That year, a few things happen. I look at that year, I remember that year vividly. That's the Kobe Bryant year in my book. Kobe scores 62 3/4 against the Dallas Mavericks that year. He outscored them in 3/4. So the Dallas Mavericks had 61 points. Kobe had 62 by himself at the end of the third, and they blew out the Mavericks that regular season. Then he follows that up again with an 81-point game against the Raptors, the second highest scoring game in NBA history, behind Wilt's 100-point game. So that's forever going to be in NBA history. We still talk about that to this day. We talk about the Jordan 63 game. We talk about the Kobe Bryant 81-point game. Kobe averaged 35 points that season, second highest scoring average in the NBA season since Jordan's 37. Obviously, Wilt averaged more in his time, but just in modern history, Jordan and Kobe have the highest scoring averages, and Luka, we'll get to Luka, but so yeah, he averaged 35, should have won MVP or Bron. And then also that year we did have the Pistons went 37-4 at home that year, so they had one of the best home records in NBA history as well. They had the best record in the NBA. I think they had 4 All-Stars. Yeah, 4 All-Stars. And then obviously Bron finally gets the Cleveland Cavaliers to the playoffs with 50 wins. He has arguably one of the greatest playoff debut games ever with a triple-double. I think the only player to do that was like Magic at the time. Or he was like the youngest to do it in a playoff game. Has the highest scoring average in his first playoff series ever, or youngest that averaged 30 in the playoff series. And then at the end of it, Nash wins MVP. He went back-to-back, but the historic part of it, D Wade. So they beat the Pistons to get to the finals. They're down 0-2 to the Mavericks, and he has, you could put probably one of the top 5, top 10 NBA Finals performances in history, averaging 35, 36 a game, and bringing them back from an 0-2 deficit to win 4 straight. So that's one of the greatest seasons ever. A lot of historic achievements happen, and I'm sure I'm probably missing a few as well. This is just kind of, you know, off the top of the dome that I remember. All right, so we're 85, 86, 95, 96, 05, 06. Now let's go 10 more years that I kind of mentioned earlier. Hold on. I ain't even sparked that. Dang. 15-16, in my opinion, the greatest NBA season ever that I've seen. So we talked about it, Golden State. They win 73 games. They break the Chicago Bulls record of 72 wins. So, historic moment number 1. Boom. Steph Curry, unanimous MVP. Never been done, hasn't been done, and may not ever be done. Historic moment 2. The Spurs tie. A lot of people forget the Spurs were a great team that year. They just were overshadowed by the Warriors. They tie Boston's home record in an NBA regular season at 40-1. So 15-16 Spurs, historic moment. Check. Kobe Bryant, his last NBA game, scores 60 points. I don't think we'll ever see that. I don't think LeBron's going to do that. We may see another great all-time player do that, but 60 in your last game, historic moment. And then to top it all off, we have the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. Golden State is up 3-1, and they lose a 3-1 deficit. Never been done before in NBA history. And they lose the championship to LeBron and the Cavs, with Kyrie hitting the big-time game-winning shot. Chased down, blocked by LeBron. LeBron leads both teams in the NBA Finals in all statistical categories: points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. Has a triple-double in a Game 7. Only player to really do that is like James Worthy to win. And yeah, that was arguably the greatest season in NBA history. So another historic year. And now we're 10 years later in 2025, 2026, another halfway part through the decade. And we're seeing history, or we could be seeing history moving forward. So my question is, do we think OKC is going to break the Golden State record? And are they going to close the deal? If they do break the record, are they going to close the deal like the Celtics in 85, 86 and the Bulls in 95, 96 and win the championship? Or are they going to run into a buzzsaw or a team that can beat them 4 out of 7 and be like the Golden State Warriors? Personally, I don't think there's a LeBron. I mean, there's not another player like LeBron, but like LeBron in 15, 16. I don't know if this Bron can do it. I mean, he's like the third option now. Jokic, maybe. But you got to play defense too. You're not going to outscore the Thunder. And, you're not going to just, they play defense. So you're going to have to shut SGA down and make it tough on those guys. Luka, he's averaging 35, 9, and 9 right now. We're probably witnessing one of the best statistical backcourts in NBA history in a season, with Reeves and Luka both averaging. Well, Reeves is averaging 28. Luka's averaging 34, 35. I don't know. I think OKC look dominant, man. I would like LeBron to get another one. And if he's healthy and can pick his spots, Luka and Austin Reeves can kind of carry him through it, and they can get some stops. I mean, they did lose by like 30 without LeBron to the Thunder earlier. So it's going to be a tough challenge. I mean, but I don't know, just kind of my thoughts. I think we're already seeing a historic season, and I think that's only going to continue as we get through Christmas and the All-Star break. Got the in-season tournament cup coming up with the knockout rounds, so should be a good season. But basically just saying there is a trend in the NBA in the last 40 years. Each halfway part through the decade, historic seasons happen, and probably the best season of the decade happened in those in that 5-6 season: 85, 86, 95, 96, 05, 06, 15, 16, and now 25, 26. So every 10 years, it looks like historic moments happen. But let me know in the comments if you think OKC is going to get at least 74 wins and close the deal, or do you think someone else is going to beat them? Like, share, subscribe, and I'll be back for another one. Until then, peace.